it past? Oh, it's past 7. That's
right. It's past 7, so I've lost my complete mind. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? How are you doing? Do you want to turn your expertise into a revenue generating engine? Are you a coach, a consultant, or an expert who shares your expertise to eradicate the frustrations and struggles of your clients' businesses and lives, but you feel like you are the best kept secret? And you know that if you don't do something, that the cost will be, well, what will the cost be if you don't do something? Think about that for a second. What will the cost be? There are 3 things that you need to know in order to be a revenue generating machine using your expertise. You need to know how to identify and articulate your unique selling proposition. You need to know how to price yourself in the market that attracts your high value clients. And you need to make sure that you are actually marketing in a way to your high value clients that they absolutely, positively cannot resist you. So listen, if you're an expert in your field, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, right now at this time of day, you are in the right place, because this program that I'm going to share with you is only for those people who are creating a living through their brains. If you got a widget, you might get a little something out of this, but this is probably not for you. So if you're an expert, a coach, or you're already a successful entrepreneur and you need to break through some extra financial barriers in order to get to the next level, then I am looking for you. I am working for you, and I'm looking for people who use their brains. Those brains work overtime. Listen, you might be sitting here going, Donna, I hear what you're saying. I've had the financial barriers. I get stuck. I'm having a hard time trying to get my clients. I feel like I'm out in these streets being the best kept secret. Oh my God, been there, done that. I got the ugly t-shirt. But you know what? I turned the corner, and then I helped other people do the same. So for example, Kelly Charles Collins was brand new to the entrepreneurial space as a speaker, a business owner, and a mentor. She came straight out of the legal world as a high-powered attorney, total badass. And she was a new speaker when she first went through the Firebrand program. And what she did was she was chasing $7,500 speech. When she got in my program, in a little over a year, she was celebrating on video in front of the world and everybody her first 6-figure month. She did that through the Firebrand program. Now she's running Ladies Who Leverage, and she's still crushing it as a speaker. And then I could talk about somebody like Chanel Evans. Chanel Evans was already a social media domination coach, crushing it in these streets. And she was doing 6 weeks program, and she wanted to turn them into something bigger. She needed some ideas. 7 months after joining Firebrand, Chanel Evans, listen, I'm using first and last name in these streets. Y'all can go look these people up. Chanel Evans achieved over $110,000 in revenue using a new program. And she will tell you right now, she even did it on our program this morning, that this has completely changed the way she does business, just being a part of Firebrand. So what I want you to do today is I want you to pay close attention. Because what I don't like to do is waste time. And what I really don't like to do is waste my time. And what I'm not going to do is waste your time. So all you got to do is go get a pen and paper. And let me tell you the 3 things I'm going to give you today that are going to change the game. Number 1, you need to really understand how to leverage your positioning and proposition statements. You need to know how to price effectively. And I'm going to give you a formula to price effectively. And you need to market yourself in a way that really attracts your high value clients. So whether you're just starting out or you've tried to monetize your expertise before, this is 100% for you. And you will discover seriously how to turn your expertise and 6-figure program, if you have one, into 6-figure months, 6-figure weeks, or 6-figure days like I do, and win your freedom back. Like, you deserve financial freedom from corporate colonization, because y'all know what happens if this don't work out. You're going to have to get a J-O to the B, right? So let's create that impact. And you know what? I don't have time for BS. People would tell you in a heartbeat, Donna does not do the BS. So this is no BS, straight shooting training for coaches, experts, and consultants who really want to rock their business. They want to turn their expertise into a revenue generating machine. And then you might be going, Donna doesn't do BS. Who the hell is Donna? Hey y'all, how you doing? My name is Donna St. Louis, and let me tell you why you should really pay attention. Besides the fact that I'm a Six Sigma Master Black Belt, which is what I use to help people create methodologies, because the millions are in your methodology. That I built a $250 million tech consultancy. I'm CEO of Firebrand. I am the top sales performance coach for people who are not necessarily in the sales industry. And you'll understand why that is important later. And I've created several different methodologies in the area of sales, marketing, entrepreneurship, copywriting, influence. And you might be going, wait, what's a methodology? That's okay. A methodology is a blueprint. It is a framework. It is what you use to get a client from point A to point B. It is the transformation that you create on purpose and with purpose because you are using a very specific step-by-step formula. What I just told you is that I specialize in creating step-by-step formulas that create transformations. And then somebody asked me what was my greatest accomplishment. Of course, as a mom, I'm supposed to say my kids, but the jury's still out on that. Jury's still out. So let's talk about something else. So even though I retired at 39 and I started my second career and I started sharing my lessons in entrepreneur, sales, marketing, insurance, and wealth, what I really, really, really love is that my friends call me relentless about delivering results. Relentless. And why in the hell do they call me relentless? Quite honestly, because there's two things. Number one, I'm relentless about the people who I surround myself with. I came in here just to help people out, and now I have a team. I have a chief marketing officer, chief sales officer. There's a whole team in Colombia that does marketing for me. Hey, y'all. They're absolutely amazing, right? Then, of course, I have my chief sales officer. I have my salespeople. I mean, this is a full-fledged business for me. I swore I wasn't going to start another business, but I'm so passionate about making sure that people never deal with what I dealt with, which was being in an organization where I did not feel like I fit in. Have you been there? You're going to work every day. You're doing your best and you're crushing it. And yet and still you feel like you don't belong. Because I know what that feeling is. And the worst thing that can happen to you if you do not figure out how to turn your expertise into a revenue generating business is that you are going to have to dust off your damn resume. And that sucks because you deserve financial freedom from corporate colonization. Just because you don't fit in doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means they're not big enough to hold your amazing ideas. We just need to turn what's in here into this. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And some of the things that I'm relentless about, the things that I'm most proud of, quite honestly, is probably the results that my clients get. If you want to see me cry, if you want to see me cry tears of joy and be like crazy happy, let my clients hit me up. Like Chanel Evans. Chanel Evans was a CPA, and then she had also a not-for-profit that she was running. And she was doing social media for her not-for-profit, and it was doing extremely well. She decided to take that skill and start doing it for other people. The problem is that as she was doing it for these other clients, she wasn't getting enough traction. And so she wasn't really sure if it was worth her time, even though she was a total badass. Think about that. Somebody who's a total badass is thinking about not sharing their expertise because it's not worth her time. She doesn't think that it's valuable enough. That's a hard thing to deal with, to think that what you're doing just isn't valuable to the world. She joined Firebrand in 2021, and she was feeling like the best kept secret. But today, she delivers a six-figure social media mansion retreat program. And she delivers this, she gets six-figure quarters back to back to back because she came to the program and I said, you are valuable. We just need to make sure that everybody else recognizes your value. And that's what she's doing. Then one of my favorite stories I was just talking about today was about Julie Creffield. So Julie Creffield, we actually went back and looked at some of the texts. She was barely monetizing her group, not at least at a rate in which she would be like, this is amazing for me. And she was a single mom. She lived in over in England, and she joined Firebrand in 2018. She could not figure out how to turn her expertise into higher profits. When she came to us, we said, you know what? Your value isn't the fact that you're running a group. Your value is that you have a method, a true methodology into not only making groups amazingly packed and filled, but the way that you can monetize this, the way that you can get engagement. She is now one of the biggest names on Clubhouse. And if y'all want to check her out, go to www.tribuildernetwork.com because the girl is totally badass. And then there's, of course, Deani Winterfunde. I love Deani. Deani came into my program. She is an immigration law attorney, right? I mean, and every time I saw her, I'm like, honey, you're always on a plane. What are you doing? She knew that she needed to monetize her expertise a little differently, and she needed just a little bit of structure. Within 3 months of joining the program, Deani completed her first mansion retreat program for her clients. And what does she do? She helps her clients leverage immigration law to create the law practice of their dreams. That's what she does. Those are the kind of results that we get. Those are the kind of results that I am super proud of. And you might be sitting there going, but I'm not a CPA and I don't build these networks and I'm not an attorney, Donna. I mean, I don't do that. So what do those people have in common with me? Well, what they have in common with you is that they quite honestly want some of the same things. They want to, number one, generate more wealth so they can have financial freedom from corporate colonization. So they can make a bigger impact. So they can change the world of their clients. I mean, after all, you became a coach, a consultant, you're an expert because you want to have a positive impact on people. Honestly, you do. You need to make sure you're getting paid for it so that you can do it more and more and more. So whether you realize it or not, that's what we're after. You want a business that you can make that is all of you. It encompasses all of you. And that's what we want to show you how to do. You want to be able to hit the income goals in your business, but you also want freedom because it's no good to make all that money and then don't have the freedom to enjoy it. And you may be like, but if I had all that money, I have the freedom to enjoy it. I know people who make $500,750,000 a year that work for companies and they're working 16 hours a day. They are missing their kids' little league games. They can't go on vacation. They're completely stressed and burnt out. And they're cursing at everyone on the way to work in their Bentley. They're not happy. And a lot of people think you sleep soundly on a stack of cash. You don't when your leg is chained to a desk. You really, really don't. You want to make a difference in the lives of your clients, and I want to show you how. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to look at first market attraction, right? And this is where you're going to literally understand how your value proposition means more than you can imagine. Then we're going to talk about pricing and how the right price makes all the difference in the world. And then finally, now that you know how to talk to people, now that you know how to attract those people with the right price, I'm going to show you how to sell to them because you need all three. You need clarity, alignment, and cash flow. I'm going to show you how to accelerate your sales tonight doing this because you have better clients. You can do better work. You can do the work you're meant to do. So let's start off with the first thing. The first thing that I told you about, value proposition. Pause. Listen. This is going to be the one game-changing lesson that you've ever heard about your value proposition, your positioning statements, and anything else. What I double dog dare you to do right now is go find somebody and say, hey, you need to listen to this because you know what? Your ass is struggling just like I am. And pay attention to this part because I will tell you every time I teach this one part, people go, oh, really? It's that simple? Why didn't anyone tell me? Because that's what people don't recognize. They don't understand how you can simplify something like this. So here we go. Right now, if you're doing marketing, you're doing it the old way probably. You're constantly posting to Facebook. You're trying endless blogs. You're You're tweeting more than you don't even know what you're tweeting anymore. You're just tweeting. You got Instagram stories, reels, posts. You got hundreds of podcasts that nobody listens to. And you have LinkedIn posts that nobody reads. And your website is loaded with links that nobody clicks. And now you went and hired this person to do SEO so that you can get some people. And all you got on here is these backlinks. And you're going, I know what I can do. I'm going to write me a best-selling book. Okay. I know somebody who spent $250,000 to be a New York Times bestseller. The only difference between them and me is that they are a New York Times bestseller and they're $250,000 lighter in their pockets. They still aren't getting more business. So let me tell you, you have to make sure you are delivering what your client wants, not just the next hottest thing that's out there. Marketing is a way of telling people to look at me. It's literally saying, I'm going to do all the things to get all the attention. And I've seen people do this over and over and over again. I just got to get people to look at me. That's what marketing is. Market audacity is different. Marketing audacity says, I want my ideal client in my target rich environment, just them, to pay attention. Nobody else. And let me tell you what that means. It means that you have to have the testicular fortitude and the ovarian audacity to cut away 90% of the market and say, I'm talking not to y'all, but only to y'all. It is hard to do. It's not hard to do. That's a lie. It is scary to do, but it is an absolute game changer. It is scary to do, but an absolute game changer. So let me tell you what you're going to do instead. With market audacity, you up-brand your business. You create clarity and alignment that get you to cash flow. And how do you do it? You have to be clear on the one thing that you do. The one thing that you do. If you want to increase the commas in your bank account, you have to reduce them from your expertise. And the only way you could do that is to be crystal clear about what you do. You want to know who you do it for and then what differentiates you. You're going to see a lot of people who will talk to you about your expertise, but until they can actually get you to the point of understanding that without a methodology, you are not really doing a great job at coaching, you're screwed. You can have all the vision in the world, but you cannot make it come to a reality until you have the steps to get there. So I'm going to show you how to create that clarity right now. So there are three statements that we use. And people mess these up all the time. They call them the unique selling proposition, or they'll say positioning statement or value proposition. Those are not the same. They are different. And you should be using them in different places. So let's start with your value proposition. Value proposition simply says the results that you deliver to your clients. That's it. I want you to think of the one thing that you deliver for your clients. And you're probably sitting there right now going, Lord, but Donna, I do so much. I deliver so much to my clients. They're only looking for one transformation. That's it. You have to be clear on what that one transformation is that they wanted. The one transformation. So for me, I could say something like, I help my clients turn their high value expertise into a high profit business. One thing. Notice how I said I help my clients. That's it. You need one single result that you deliver to your clients. That's your value proposition. Your positioning statement is literally adding who you work with. You're positioning your value in front of your ideal client. Let me say that one more again. You are positioning your value in front of your ideal client. So if my value is that I literally help my client turn their expertise into a high profit business with recurring revenue, then my positioning statement is I work with coaches, consultants, and experts, that's the position, to turn their high value expertise into a high profit business. All I did was add who my ideal client was. If you don't know who your ideal client is and you don't know what results you get, and when I ask you that question, you give me a 10-minute conversation, You need a coach and a methodology because you are all over the place. If I ask you what you do and you give me a story and not a sentence, you are driving me nuts. I will not work with you. I don't need a story to know what you do. I need a statement. And so now you're going, okay, I got it. My positioning is my ideal client plus my value. Exactly. So what's my unique selling proposition? Listen, if I get one more person who says to me that my unique selling proposition is me, because I'm special, I'm unique. Everybody's special and everybody unique. So nobody is. That is not your unique selling proposition. No one is paying you because you're you. Stop it. People are looking for your unique framework, methodology, blueprint. That is what you add to your unique selling. That's what makes your unique selling proposition. So I'm going to make this easy. Take your positioning statement. Add your methodology to the end. I work with coaches, consultants, and experts to turn their high value expertise into a high profit business. Here's the part, using the Firebrand business and sales acceleration methodology. That now makes it a unique selling proposition because the Firebrand sales acceleration and business methodology, sales and business acceleration methodology is specific to Firebrand. Those results that we deliver are specific to our clients. Our clients. So I'm going to use my girl, Chanel. Chanel is a total badass. I talked to you about her before. She runs a social media domination mansion retreat program. It is amazing. She is a social media strategist. So if I thought about how her value proposition might sound, it might sound like this. I work with my clients to turn 6 days of intense social media focus into 6 months of lead generating social media domination. Notice how I said my clients. I didn't say who. Now, her positioning statement might be, I work with women in business. Notice how we're positioning her in front of women in business to turn 6 days of intense social media focus into 6 months of lead generating social media domination. And now, what is her unique selling proposition? Well, Chanel is a badass, like I said. So Chanel has something called the vibe method. Right? And I'm not going to tell y'all what it means. If you want to know, you need to go and tag up Chanel Evans. But you're going to see that her unique selling proposition is, I work with women business owners to turn 6 days of intense social media focus into 6 months of lead generating social media domination using the vibe method. 1, 2, 3. Just nailed it. That's it. That's all you really need to do to understand the difference between your value proposition, your positioning statement, and your USP. There is an order. Now, just in case you thought I was wrong, and you're like, but now there's 3. How do I know which one to use and when? I got you. Your value proposition you use when you're in front of a general audience and you don't know who's there. So, for example, if you are on an airplane, you're talking to somebody. If you're going to a network event and you don't know who's in the audience, you just use your value proposition. If you know that you are in front of your ideal client, when you know you are in front of your ideal client, then you use your positioning statement. Now, so when do you use your USP? You use your unique selling proposition when you are in front of your ideal client and there is competition in the room. Because I guarantee you, your competition is not talking about their methodology. That's when you do it. And the one thing that I said I was going to tell you, and I'm going to leave it at the end, is I'm going to tell you how to leverage your methodology to up brand. But I'm going to leave it all the way to the end. And mind you, I did not say rebrand. I did not say brand. I said up brand. I'm going to tell you one thing that you could do right now today to up brand. And here's the thing that you want to do. You want to show that you are delivering results. And if you're sitting here going, well, Donna, I can't say my expertise like that. And I don't really know my ideal client in that way. Like yours is so succinct. And I mean, the results they get can be so much. If you have all of that and it's all over the place like that, you need a coach. And I'm not saying me, I'm saying you need a coach, because right now you're walking in and you're doing verbal vomit and hoping that people find the gold in it. There is none. You need to be succinct in what you do, and you need to know exactly what it is. If you want to charge Neiman Marcus prices, you got to stop acting like you're Walmart. You have to be very clear on what you're offering. People don't pay you for your time. You're not trading dollars for hours. That's not what you're doing. So people don't pay you for your time. They don't even really pay you for your expertise. Let me tell you what they actually pay you for. They pay you to make things faster and easier. They pay you for an outcome that is faster and easier. I want to get to that goal. I want you to show me how to get there faster and easier. When you understand that people only want you to get them from here to there faster and easier, you will understand that you are selling something other than your hours, because that's not what you're selling. People want an outcome. So I hope you got that. Your value proposition, your positioning statement, and your unique selling proposition. Where do you use it? It should be on your website, it should be on your business card, it should be every time you introduce yourself, what you say. I literally got a client when I was on the plane this weekend that went and signed up for something that I didn't even know I was still selling. After we had a conversation on the plane, I never told her to go buy something. She literally went and bought it and signed up for something monthly. Think about that. Why was I able to do that? Because as soon as she said, what do? I said, oh, I work with people who are like, they're professionals, they're coaches, they're experts, they have high value expertise, and they want to build high value businesses. They want to build these really high profit businesses. I teach them how to do that. And she's like, wait, what? And all of a sudden she was signing up for stuff that I hadn't even told her about, by the way. That's what happens when you really nail down and you're so clear. You need clarity and alignment to get to cash flow. Clarity, alignment, cash flow. I have a challenge that is actually called the Clarity, Alignment, Cash Flow Challenge, because you have to nail those things down. And what I love is people walk out with exactly that. So number 2, the second thing I told you I would share with you were smarter pricing strategies. This one I absolutely love. I'm going to call on my girl Chanel Evans one more time, because when she did this in my program, she literally told me, she goes, Donna, this turned into money. And she goes, and not money in like a few months or whatever. She goes, this turned into overnight money. I am going to give you a strategy that I share with my people all the time in regards to pricing. The number one thing people ask me about is, Donna, I don't know how to price. I don't know what to charge for this. And they look at what everybody else is doing, and then they're like, maybe I should charge what everybody else is. Are you a coach like everybody else? Are you average? Or are you exceptional? Because if you're exceptional, you should be charging your worth and not what average people charge. So this is what I want you to think of. You do a lot for your client, and you can do this over 30 days, or if you know how to just sit down and do it in a second, you can do it in a second. But you do a lot for your client. Even if you don't have your methodology nailed down, I bet you do a hell of a lot more than you can even imagine. And when I shared this tip, it really did change the game for Chanel. She went and really changed the game in her pricing strategy. So I want you to do this, and I want you to do it right now. What I want you to do is write down everything that you do for your clients. And I don't mean, oh, I have a coaching call. No. What's the results of the coaching call? What did they get out of that coaching call that was valuable? That's what I want you to write down for your clients. Really understand what that was. What was the result of it? So not the process, but the result. And next to all those things that you wrote down as results, I want you to put the dollar amount next to them. How much were they worth? Not how much time did they take, because we're not trading dollars for time. But I want you to say, how much were they worth? And then I want you to take all those numbers. And if you did this for a month, I want you to divide it by the number of clients you have. So let's say you got all those numbers and it came up to 10,000. And you're charging $1,000 a month for coaching. Now I want you to divide it by the number of clients you have. Let's say you have 5. That means that you should not be charging $1,000 a month. You should be charging $2,000 a month. There is a whole list of things that you're doing that you are not charging for. So now you have a choice. You're doing $10,000 worth of value. You have 5 clients. You're charging $1,000 each. You're only making $5,000. You are screwing yourself. So now you have a choice. Either A, you have to cut away some of the things that you're doing. That gives you more time. Or B, you have to raise your rates. And that gives you more money. If you have more time, you can get more clients. That's it. And if you're sitting here going, but if I charge more, people are going to leave. Well, don't tell my clients, because they're still with me. That's not how it works. People pay more to get results. And if you're delivering them, then you should make sure you're getting paid for them. And the psychology of money is real. The one thing that I absolutely love about my boot camp that I do is that people really walk away seeing money differently. And here's one thing I'm going to tell you about money. Money is not what you think it is. It is just a measuring stick. That's all it is. It measures everything. It measures quality. It measures value. And most importantly, it measures freedom. Because the more money you have, the more freedom you have, the more choices you have. It's that simple. And then when you have freedom and choices, then you can say things like, well, I'm free to donate to whoever I want to. I'm free to do the free things that I want to do. But at least make sure that you're making the money that you need to have that freedom, because that's what money really is. Cash is not king, cash flow is. So make sure that you recognize that you need to not just create cash, you need to create cash flow, which is recurring revenue. And you need to make a lot of it so you can live a freedom life, a life free of corporate colonization. The last thing I'm going to share with you is sales. Holy crap. If anybody ever told me the one thing that they were scared of when they became an entrepreneur, it was sales. And you know what? I don't blame you. I used to hate sales too. I hated sales. And today I'm one of the most sought after sales coaches. But why is that? It's because I have a methodology that I created called coaching for the sale. It's because I was not a sales pro at all. And I didn't like that sales felt icky and disgusting. And every time we started talking about money, I was avoiding it as much as they did. It was horrible. And I want you to know that every sales training that's out there right now today on the market, all of them are made for sales pros. Every sales training on the market today is made for the professional salesperson. It is not made for the coach or the expert or the entrepreneur. There's only one that is. Mine, coaching for the sale. That's why I'm so sought after, because I have the one methodology that's not made for people who are sales pros. And what's crazy is sales pros love it. That's why if you're a coach, an expert, or an entrepreneur and a consultant, and you're like, oh, that's why sales feels so nasty. The reason it feels so nasty is because it wasn't made for you. And yet and still, if you don't know how to sell, you will be broke. You will not have a business. You will go out of business. If you think that marketing is going to sell your product, listen, that's great. You keep thinking that. I want you to go and look at the cost of that marketing and see how much actual profit you're making. You really do have to learn how to sell. And what I love about when I made coaching for the sale is it was truly made for consultants, coaches, and entrepreneurs and experts who really recognize that they weren't sales pros, but they could use their God-given talents to close more deals. And that's what's so cool about it. I'm actually going to share with you what I teach these coaching people to do in order for them to close more deals. So the first thing you want to do is you want to ask 3 questions. And here are those 3 questions. And ask these questions and shut up. Because let me tell you what normally happens. What normally happens is this. Somebody calls you and they say, oh my God, I saw your stuff on YouTube and Facebook and you're amazing and I love you and blah, blah, blah. Tell me about this program. I want to buy it. And then the first thing you do is you're like, let me tell you everything about my program in the world. It is the exact wrong thing to do. You need to be a doctor, not a salesperson. How do you know that program is right for that person just because they're asking for it? No, it might be the wrong program for them. Don't do that. If you really want to make sure that you are delivering to your clients, stop selling them and start helping them. That is why you became a coach, a consultant, and an expert in the first place. So you could actually help people, not sell to them. So use that talent. So this is how you do it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to qualify your client by asking them this question. What's going on in your world that made you take time out of your day to pick up the phone and talk to me? To get on my calendar. This is going to tell you a few things. It's going to tell you specifically how they found you, which is always important to know. But the other thing it's going to tell you, it's going to give you a full scenario of how they got to where they are. That's what you need to know. How did you get here to this place? Let me understand your business. Let me understand who you are and where you came from. That's your first job. Ask that question and then shut up. Second thing that you need to do is the second question you're going to ask them is, so what have you tried already to solve this problem that didn't work? What are you struggling with? Because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to sit there and offer a solution they already tried. They're going to hate you if you do that. And it's an insult to their intelligence to tell them to try something they already tried. Because now you're saying, well, you probably did it wrong. I'm going to hang up on you. And then the third question that you want to ask is, listen, I understand where you are. I understand where you came from. And I understand where you are. And I truly get your frustrations. My last question is this, though. If you do nothing, if we get off the phone and you hang up and decide to do nothing, what does that cost you? See, you need to make sure that your client has a true sense of urgency, that this is something they want to do, because if it's not urgent to them, then why are you wasting your time? They're tire kicking. You need to understand, what is the cost of doing nothing? What is the cost of inaction? What does your life look like in 6 months to a year if this doesn't work, if you don't do anything? I ask my clients that all the time, and they're like, girl, I cannot be here in a year. And I'm like, good, then let's get it done in the next 6 months. Once you ask those questions, you have created a framework for a conversation that should feel more natural to you. It should not feel like you're selling. And then, of course, there's several other steps that you do. For example, you understand how to share your solution properly. You understand how to avoid sticker price shock. You understand how to avoid getting ghosted. God, that's horrible. You understand how to get rid of the awkwardness of the sales conversation. And you really understand how to do next step domination, how to get someone from this call to the next call and to the next logical step. You never have to spend time closing them. Not with coaching for the sale, you don't. See, we don't sell to coach. We coach for the sale to get signups. In other words, what you do naturally is actually an easier way to sell. That's why I have so many clients that are actually reaching out to me and saying, hey, can you hook us up? Because they recognize how much easier it is for their sales pros to know how to sell. And those things that I'm talking about, listen, I could come on here and try to teach you these, but quite honestly, we do these things in a 3-day boot camp. And not a 3-day, I'm going to have a whole bunch of speakers tramp across the stage kind of boot camp. I hate those. It's an actual boot camp. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I see people that go to boot camp, what they do is somebody shows them this is how you do a sit-up, and then they actually do the sit-up. And then if they do it wrong, somebody says, that's not how you do a sit-up. I need you to do a 50 more, but the right way, right? That's what a boot camp is. That's what my boot camp is. You learn something in that moment. You do something in that moment and you have a coach check what you did in that moment. So you're constantly doing, learning, doing, correcting, repeat. It's constant for 3 days. You walk out not with something to go do. You gotta have that. But you walk out with stuff already done. You've already done probably about 75% of the work before you walk out. Some of the stuff just takes mental time and a little extra work. So why did you and attend a freaking boot camp all the way in Orlando, Florida? You shouldn't. Honestly, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. If you're good with where you are, if you're like, I don't need that, then you shouldn't. But if you really want to do what I did and you want to turn your expertise into an endless revenue generating machine, then this is where you should be. And let me explain to you why. Number one, listen, you probably sitting here right now going, that value proposition thing was gold. And when I go and look at these numbers of what I'm doing and know what I should actually charge, who has ever told you how to figure out what you should actually charge before? No one does that. They make it so complicated, like it's this magic thing in this mystery box that you got to go and figure out. It's not that hard. Most of the things I'm going to teach you, they're not that hard. That's why you could do about 75% of it at the boot camp. So you need to bring pen and paper and hand cramp cream because you're going to do a lot of work while you're there. You need to bring your laptop. You need to make sure you have a power cable. You need to be connected to the internet. You're going to do work there, not think about it and write notes down about it. And so what we do on day one is we do this cool thing called market audacity. So you'll learn the actual tools and secrets you need to stop chasing leads and stop chasing clients. You'll discover how to take some of them commas out of your bank accounts, out of your expertise, so you can put them in your bank account. You'll really recognize how you can create power in your own business when I pull back the curtain on my 7-figure coaching business. And then you could do the same thing that Kelly did, that Chanel did, that Deani did, and Julie did, and all the other people that I've talked about, and that they have been doing to attract more of their ideal prospect and turn them into high-powered clients. And you're also going to discover how to up-brand your business. Now stay tuned because I'm going to tell you a secret about up-branding your business. We're going to talk about how you can be omnipresent and unforgettable. You're going to get clear on the power of your niche and pricing, and you're going to avoid some of those stupid marketing traps because holy crap, there's a lot of them. Aren't you tired of those stupid funnels that don't actually work for your business? See, our funnels are specific to coaches, consultants, and experts. So you're not getting all the different ways that this funnel can work. We're talking about how it can work for you, not how it could just work for a book. We're going to talk about how to power up the value of your unique selling proposition, how to discover more lucrative target-rich environments, and how you can actually tap into the business acceleration 5-step power funnel. That's day one. And so if you're sitting here going, wait a minute, that's all day one? That's all day one. We don't have time to pitch and sell to you in day one. We don't do that. We coach for the sale. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to coach my ass off that day because I want to make sure that you get it all. I want you to walk away going, dang, I did a lot today, just today. Then on day two, it's all about client attraction. And rather than pushing your way into the door, you're going to discover how to get prospect to beat yours down. And not just any prospect, the right prospect. See, for years, I struggled with traditional marketing and it sucked. And I always felt like I was begging for it. What the hell? And I'm very clear. This is not made for everyone. I'm not made for everyone because I'm saying things that you haven't heard before. But you know what? The 98% say shit the 98% listens to. I'm more in the 1%. So I'm saying the things that they say. If you want to be there, then that's where you need to be. And what we're going to talk about is how do you leverage the power of your private club? In other words, treat your business like a private club, not like a public park. Stop letting everybody get in and piss on your trees. Start picking your clients instead of letting your clients pick you. How do you attract those higher end clients and leverage a gauntlet of disqualification? How do you build instant trust? And how do you keep your clients engaged and fired up? And how do you instantly attract your ideal client and trigger their why to buy? There is a why to buy. You really need to understand that. You need to understand that like you understand the skin on the back of your hand. And then day 3, sales acceleration. This is all about discovering the method that makes even the most awkward sales conversation effortless. This is what I use to get more clients on demand. That's what it's all about. So you're going to know how to build this world-class sales machine so you're not scared if you're awkward or uncomfortable about sales. You're going to know how to handle these objections effectively if you even get them. Because quite honestly, I don't get objections anymore. I really don't. I'm a master at avoiding them. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to create the perfect follow-up strategy with next step domination, have great closing conversations, and how to develop a six-figure program. One of my greatest things that I can say is most of my clients will tell you, like, I never felt like she was selling me anything, but I wanted to give her money. That's what you want to do. Now, if you're going, well, that does sound right for me, but it's probably really expensive, but it's not. It's actually one of my lower price programs. It is my lower price program. It really is. But before you even think about making plans to be here at the end of April, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is you want to go and apply to see if you qualify to attend. Because remember, I told you I treat my business like a private club and not like a public park. If I can't help you, I don't want you to be there. So it's going to happen in Orlando, but you have to apply to see if you qualify to attend. And to do that, you have to go to firebrand.net. Now, I promised you that I would share one thing, and this is about up branding. So listen up. You want to create your own language. You want to create your own thesaurus. So as most people talk about mindset, I talk about executive thinking and CEO thinking. I use phrases like testicular fortitude and ovarian audacity. I say words like be obsessed with winning. I use language like annihilate. I talk about expertise. I talk about methodology. I have a whole language that I'm using that people, when they hear it, they go, oh, that's Donna. Listen, if you say clarity, alignment, and cash flow, if you say clarity equals cash, if you say clarity equals money, if you say anything about clarity, and they're like, oh, that's Donna right there. Because it sounds like me. It's what I say all the time. You want to create your own language so that people recognize who you are. They know you when they hear it. It is the first lesson that I ever learned about branding from Bruce Turkel. Look him up. He taught me that I needed to have my own language, not just to brand, but to up brand, to stand completely apart from my competition. If you are ready to stop sitting in the middle with the masses, and if you want to turn your expertise into a revenue generating machine, then go to firebrand.net, check out the Revenue Acceleration Bootcamp, get on the calendar because you can't get in if I don't talk to you. That's just how we roll. Because quite honestly, if there's no match, if I can't help you, I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to waste your money. I want you to walk out going, damn, I got more than I bargained for. I want this to be the game changer in your business. And I can only do that if the right people are in the room. That's all I got for you. I hope to see you. I hope to talk to you. Again, make sure you go to firebrand.net to see if you qualify to come to the boot camp. It's happening at the end of April. Talk to you later.
Good.